What is going on, warriors of Tamaris? I am back again with another video. In today's episode, I'm gonna show you guys the ultimate war guide in Call of Dragons. I'm gonna show you guys a lot of tips and tricks that you can use to defeat your enemies as you get to the Flame Dragon at the end of the season. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel for more content, turn on the bell notification and never miss out. Like the video, share it with your friends, leave some comments down below. Let's get this party started. Alright, warriors of Tamaris, there are so many strategies that you can use to defeat your enemies in the open field. Today we're gonna check some of them out. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. The first topic we're gonna cover is gonna be the hero investment in Call of Dragons. I would suggest that you should not invest in Call of Dragon heroes the way you invest in Rise of Kingdoms heroes. In Call of Dragons, there is this system known as the stamina. Therefore, every single hero matters. You need to get all heroes to a configuration of 5-1-1-1. That way, when your main heroes run out of stamina, you don't get overrun. Now, when you look at Rise of Kingdoms, people only invest in like 3 good marches. Now, that is going to work for Rise of Kingdoms, but it's not going to work here in Call of Dragons. Let us assume you have a very powerful alliance, and all the players have only invested in 3 good marches, okay? So you fight for 2 hours. And then you run out of stamina. What's next? You guys don't have the other heroes to help you out. There is nothing you can do. All you have to do is just sit down and watch the enemy take your flags one by one. It is not a good way of investment. In the game of Call of Dragons, you should not be saving these universal hero tokens. You should use them on your heroes. Now the rule of thumb is to get all your legendary heroes to a configuration of 5-1-1 to begin with. Once you do that, you can then focus on the specific ones that you want to use. The more heroes you have, the more you can fight. The less hero you have, the easier you guys are going to get destroyed. The next topic of the video is going to be the hero tokens in Call of Dragons. Now this is going to expand on the first topic that we just talked about. Now in Rise of Kingdoms, people will tell you to save your tokens, which is good. That works for Rise of Kingdoms. When it comes to Call of Dragons, it's going to be a different story. Now allow me to show you guys. In Call of Dragons, all the tokens are labeled according to seasons. Now I may be mistaken, but I think I am correct. When Season 2 comes out, you will not be able to use these Season 1 custom tokens on Season 2 heroes. When the game developers introduce new heroes in the real Season 2 with the new map, you won't be able to use the Season 1 custom tokens on those heroes. The only tokens that can be used on Season 2 heroes is gonna be the universal token that you see right here. Now this Season 1 custom token will not be useful. When you look at the game developers have stopped people from getting this token for future generation heroes. When you click on this section, you claim it for the season that you have. You claim it actually for the heroes that you have already unlocked. You cannot save them for the future. When you hit the store and then you scroll down here, if you try to buy this token, it is labeled Season 1. When Season 2 comes out, you won't be able to use this token on Season 2. Now, I don't really want to confuse you guys. Now, let's say you enter Season 2, right? You're not going to lose these hero tokens because of Season Reset. You are only going to be able to use them on Season 1 heroes. Like when we click on a hero from here, let's check Madeline for instance, and then we hit the skills. Now when we hit the tokens here, this is everything that will show up for a Season 1 hero. Now when you go to Season 2, these tokens are not going to show up for your Season 2 heroes. You can only use them on Season 1. Now I personally think this is going to happen. I could be mistaken. Now if I am wrong, then you should scratch this part of the video and we move forward. So try not to save these hero tokens for Season 2 heroes. What I suggest you do, save it, and when the new Season 2 maps comes out, you can then upgrade the Season 1 hero that you want to work on. The next topic of the video is gonna be how to level up your heroes efficiently for war in Call of Dragons. Now the first thing you want to do is to try and get your main heroes to level 40, usually in the early stages of the season. Get the main hero to level 40 and then push the main hero to level 50. Once you get your main hero to level 50, you should stop there for the time being, because going from level 50 to level 60 is going to take a lot of experience. Now if you want your alliance to win the war, you should focus on all the heroes as well. Now the first thing, get the main hero to level 50 and then bring all the other epic heroes to level 40. That way you can unlock the awakening skills. Once you have the other heroes at level 40, you can then push the main ones to level 60. It is best to wait when you have level 23 or level 24 Darklings to push your main heroes to level 60. Now there are a few people who need to push their heroes as high as possible in the early stages of the season. Now this is going to be the rally leaders or the people who are going to be defending a pass. Now Madeline is one hero that you should push to level 60 if you can. You're going to use her to defend your passes, especially if your enemies is too powerful and they want to destroy you. Bakshi is another hero you should take to level 60 if you are someone who is going to rally. This hero is going to be used to rally cities and to rally passes. Nico is another hero you take to level 60 if you are going to be rallying passes and rallying cities. Who else? You should also take maybe Velin to level 60 for fighting in the open field and also rallying some cities if you want, especially if you want to try mages for rallying cities. You can take Velin to level 60 as well. Now as for everybody else, you should stop at level 50 and then bring all your other heroes to level 40. That way you're going to have variety when you fight in the open field. This game is all about managing stamina. Now try not to save your tokens for just 3 marches. When you run out of stamina, your alliance is going to get destroyed because you haven't managed your tokens properly and you haven't managed your hero experience properly. So to put everything in summary, for everybody else, get your main heroes to level 50, stop there, bring the others to level 40, unlock the awakening skills, and then when you unlock high level Darklings, push them to level 60. For rally leaders, pick the main heroes that are going to be important. Madeline, take her to level 60 for defense. Bakshi, take him to level 60 for rallying cities. Nico, level 60 for rallying cities. And that's how you go about doing the stuff here. The next topic of the video is going to be how to build talent trees in Call of Dragons. I would suggest you don't build your talent trees the way you build talent trees in Rise of Kingdoms. The combat system in Call of Dragons is a little bit different. You have the terrain, you have the different troop types, and you have the different range. Now when it comes to building talent trees, there are 2 things you should take into consideration. Number 1, stamina is a big problem, which means people are not going to refresh their troops all the time, so they fight until the end. Number 2 is that people play it cautious in the game. They don't usually exchange more than 2 or 3 rage skill cycles. They always run away. When you design your talent tree, you should design it to catch this type of people. Now there are so many talents here that look great on paper but do not translate well in the open field. Let's check a few of them. The first one we're going to check out is going to be the High Spirits. Don't get me wrong guys, this talent is excellent on paper, but in open field, people exchange 1 or 2 rage skill, then they run away. You're most likely not going to get enough rage to do the next rage skill. Instead, you should focus on something like a counter-attack damage. Anybody who touches you in the open field is going to take damage. Counter-attack is going to serve you well. Next talent we're going to check out is those talents that take very long time to complete. Like for instance, this one, to get all the 8%, it's going to take some time. So you know people only stay to exchange 1 or 2 rage skill cycle and they run away. You're going to benefit from something like this, Thirst for Blood. When casting a rage skill, your legion deal additional hero skill damage to the target legion. When you hit them with 1 rage skill and they run, you get this benefit. However, if you pick this one, you're not going to get the full benefit. Now we're going to check out the Boiling Blood and the Spirit of Rage. Like I said guys, people don't stick around to exchange more than 2 or 3 rage skill. They always run away. Therefore, when you have someone like Boiling Blood, you're going to use it right away. When you hit them with 1 rage skill, you hit them with the second one, they run away, you get the damage. Now what else should we check? We're going to go to Velin over here and then check out the PvP talent tree. Now the PvP talent tree is also good, but these are the talents that I would say you should avoid. This talent takes 30 seconds. People always run away. You might be able to use it only once or you might not be able to use it at all. Therefore, you have to be very careful when you design a talent tree. GWANWYN, GWANWYN, GWANWYN. This is a legendary hero disguised as an epic. and you should not underestimate the true power of this hero. In one of my hero tier lists, I put GWANWYN as a class S hero, and there is a reason for that. Today, I'm gonna explain it. Now we're gonna check out the skills of GWANWYN. She has one of the best skills in the whole game. No hero has that skill as of right now. Now GWANWYN has this skill known as Preemptive Strike. When GWANWYN's Legion has 50% unit count or higher, her units deal 10% extra damage. Now just sit down and let this sink in, guys. This is one of the greatest skills in the whole game. Now 10% damage simply means your rage skill is gonna do 10% additional damage. Your normal attack is gonna do 10% additional damage. Your counter attack is gonna do 10% additional damage. And guess what? This damage is also going to translate into the skill damage of your artifact because it is damage dealt. So you can take this into consideration when you use GWANWYN for the open field. The next dangerous thing about GWANWYN is gonna be her awakening skill. She has a 50% chance to poison enemies with just a normal attack. This is insane. You are never gonna get good trades when you fight against GWANWYN. Even if you guys don't exchange any rage skill, her bleeding effect is gonna take you down significantly. This is one of the heroes that you don't avoid. She is like a legendary hero disguised as an epic. Now GWANWYN also has physical attack bonus of 15% and she has march speed bonus as well. This is excellent. When we go to the training camp and you see the attack damage of the archers in the game, it is bad news for all enemies. If you put someone like GWANWYN with the archers, the damage is gonna be catastrophic. And as you know, people in this game don't stick around to exchange rage skill. With GWANWYN, you're gonna poison them with the Fervent Wind, one of the greatest heroes in the game, and you should not underestimate this hero. Next topic of the video is gonna expand on the abilities of GWANWYN. We're gonna be using GWANWYN to take down the T5 troops from the enemies. Now this is gonna be the best combination to destroy enemies who have T5 troops in the game. And here is how you can do it. You're gonna have Kinara primary and then GWANWYN secondary. I'm gonna show you guys how you can take down T5 players from your enemies. Here is a talent tree that you're gonna use for your Kinara. Now this talent tree has so many march speed. You have 15% march speed here, you have 10%, that's 25. You have another 10%, which is 35. You have another 6% here, which is 41% march speed. GWANWYN also brings another 10% march speed, giving you 51% march speed. Now let's see how this is gonna take down the T5 players from your enemies. With your Kinara, you're gonna have the Backstabber talent, which is gonna be activated by this blind sight right here. You only need 1 point here to activate this point and then get the Backstabber to work. Now the blind sight is gonna slow down the T5 players. So what I recommend you do is organize in your alliance and then have 5 players bring Kinara primary, GWANWYN secondary with this talent tree right here. Now you're gonna equip Shadow Blade on your Kinara. Shadow Blade is going to scale with the high damage factor of GWANWYN. GWANWYN has Preemptive Strike, damage dealt bonus 10%. This is going to scale with the Shadow Blade that you have on your Kinara. Now it's gonna do 10% more damage to the enemy. As soon as you see a T5 player come to your territory, you bring out these 5 players who have GWANWYN and Kinara. You send them to that T5 and you hit them with the artifact skill damage. In Call of Dragons, when you hit people with artifact skill damage, you do not take any counter attack. So basically you hit the T5 players with the artifact and then you run away. Guess what? Your talent tree for Kinara has all the march speed that you need. They are not going to catch you. This is how you take down T5 players in the open field. Just have a group of 5 people with this skill build. Just send them to kill T5 players. And the good thing with the Shadow Blade is that it requires only 1200 rage cost. Now all magic troops have like 1600 rage cost. You're gonna have the first chance to hit them with your artifact and then run away. What I also suggest you do is have 1 player come to fight with Viola's Bow. Now where can I get it? Okay, here is Viola's Bow. Now when one person hits the enemy with the Viola's bow, it's gonna prevent them from using their artifact. That's gonna give you guys the chance to run away. You target the T5 players, you take them down with the high damage of the Shadow Blade and the added extra damage from GWANWYN right here. This is a good strategy to take down T5 players without suffering counter-attack damage. Next topic on the list is gonna be how to use Behemoth in the open field. Now you should use your Behemoth to target T5 players from your enemies. As soon as they come to your territory, just unleash a Behemoth and then send them to kill those T5 players. The Beastmaster can do this. Whenever he sees a T5 player, send your Behemoth to destroy them. This is another way to take down T5 players from the other enemies. You combine the GWANWYN and the Kinara system where you hit them with the Shadow Blade and then you run away and then you come back and you do that again. It's gonna prevent you from taking counter-attack damage, and then you can also use Behemoth to your advantage. Just send them to kill the T5 players. Next topic of the video is gonna be the murder ball in Call of Dragons. You should always not try to fight by yourself. Make sure you fight with your teammates, that way you get the best trade and you preserve stamina. And when you're fighting in a murder ball situation, do not group yourself together because the area of effect damage in this game is crazy. Try to spread out, use different formation to take down your enemies. Make sure that you fight in a group, don't go by yourself. If you do that, you're just gonna be selfish, lose a lot of stamina and put your teammates in trouble. Make sure you fight with friends, that way you get the best trade when you go together. The next topic of the video is gonna be proper troop investment. Make sure you invest in the right troops in the game. You should always train a lot of magic units to help you dominate the open field. You should always train a lot of infantry to help you with the tanking. Now infantry is gonna be very important in this game. You're gonna need the infantry to defend your passes if the enemies are too strong for you. Your infantry are also gonna be excellent at intercepting cavalry in the game. Make sure that you have a lot of infantry for fighting in the open field. They can absorb the damage while your magic units do the damage from afar. Now archers are okay. You probably need maybe 1 or 2 marches for archers. That's gonna be good enough, but the majority should be magic and infantry. Let's talk about cavalry. Cavalry are also good for the open field, but not the greatest. Cavalry are kind of like lone rangers, and in Call of Dragons there is only one good cavalry pairing, which is Bakshi and Emrys. When your Bakshi and Emrys run out of stamina, there is nothing else you can do to help your alliance, so try to avoid cavalry as much as possible. The best time for using cavalry is when you're launching an assault, a strategic assault, where you launch a rally on a Darkling fort and then you spread out and destroy farmers or those people who are building flags. Now cavalry in the open field, they are gonna get melted because there are gonna be so many people targeting them. They are not gonna help you win territory, but they are gonna be useful in the game. Cavalry are gonna be excellent for rallying cities, but for fighting in the open field, make sure you train a lot of infantry and a lot of magic troops. Those are the two best lines to win many battles in the game. Don't get me wrong guys, I am not saying cavalry is terrible in the game. They are quite useful. You can use them when the enemy are in their downtime. You go and kill their builders, or you use them to rally different forts and then you break out and you destroy all the troops in their territory without them knowing. Next topic of the video is going to be how to use barricade as a plan B option to defend your alliance. Now when you fight your enemies, make sure you pick a spot where you spam a lot of barricades as a plan B, and then you continue pushing towards the enemy territory. When the enemy become too strong and they start defeating you and destroying your territory, you're all gonna drop back in the strategic points that you created with all the barricades. Now you're gonna defend the enemy there, try to stop them from rallying your passes. If the enemy rally your passes, many of your players are gonna quit, they're gonna join the enemy, and your alliance is gonna get destroyed. Make sure you pick a strategic point and spam barricades to help you out, to slow your enemy down and hold out as long as possible. This is how you can win so many battles in the game. The final topic of the video is gonna be how to pick the best region. That way you don't get destroyed early on in the game. Now in the game of Call of Dragons, when you enter Season 2+, you're gonna have the chance to pick a region that you can go to. Now there are so many regions here and they have their advantages and their disadvantages. I made a video explaining all the different regions and which one to avoid. Now I'm gonna show you right now. Stay away from Daraland. This is the worst region in the game. Daraland is surrounded by, I believe, 7 level 1 passes. I don't know how you guys are gonna defend that. To make it even worse, Daraland does not have a direct pass to Zone 2. For Daraland people to get to Zone 2, they need to defeat Nuvola or they need to defeat Forgotten Land to capture one of their level 2 passes. Therefore, you have to be very careful when you pick a starting region because that's gonna help you win the war. Now, if you go to Nuvola, you can fight in 2 different level 2 regions. If you go to Forgotten Lands, you can fight in 2 different level 2 regions. For the other regions, you can only fight in 1 level 2 region. You have to be very careful when you pick the starting region for your alliance. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is everything I have for strategy in Call of Dragons. I tried my best to tell you guys what I know from the 3 seasons that I have played in the game. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more content, turn on the bell notification and never miss out. Let me know down below what you thought of this video. If you have other tips and tricks, feel free to comment them down below in the comment section. I might make a part 2 video following up this video. Now I'm gonna go back to one of the topics that I talked about regarding the hero tokens in the game. Like I said, the Season 1 custom tokens might not be useful in Season 2. Now, I might be incorrect, but I think this is what's gonna happen. So you have to be very careful. Look out for your Season 1 custom token, and then when Season 2 comes out, you will see whether it's gonna be useful or not. Thing is, you're not gonna lose this token. Like, even if Season Reset comes around, no one is gonna take it. It's just that you won't be able to use them in Season 2. I hope that's not the case. Thank you guys for watching. Until then, we shall meet again in the next one. Bye bye for now.